Delighted to have you with us today. We are going to be spending the next 45 minutes talking about how you can make your voting experience. Um, Hold on a second. Okay. Did you guys get a little note that says you're being recorded?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Um, So, welcome. As I said, we're going to spend the next 45 minutes talking about how you can have a stress-free voting experience. Do you want to go to the next slide, please? So, the question is, how are you feeling this year about the election? Are you the person on the left or the person on the right? We hope to, by helping to provide you with information, encouragement, guidance, answer questions, be your coach or cheerleader. We hope to help you be able to move into this election year with confidence. Anybody want to comment about how you're feeling before we move on? How are you feeling this year about the election?
I'm stressed out. I'm definitely stressed out. I think that the mudslinging is just so ugly, and I always get stressed out during that time when it starts getting really tough and the advertisements start to roll in continuously, and just
Sure.
when you think you know which way you want to go, something shifts, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of research, a lot of
Yeah.
anxiety that comes with it.
It can feel a little scary. Yeah. Who do you
Yeah.
believe? Where do you look for information? Anybody else want to comment?
I'll be glad when all the political text stop on the phone. I mean, it's a little much. Um, no, I'm not going to donate to you, but yes, I will vote for you. Leave me alone.
Sure. Yeah, we're all, especially now that they have new ways to contact us. We're getting more than just the mailers and the emails. Now we're getting texts. Yep. One more? Well, I think we can all relate. Most of us, by the time we get to sending in our ballots or the day of the vote, we're just wanting it to be over. But as I said, that we really want to, Jay, Francisca, myself, we really want to just encourage you to not allow it to distress you too much, to know that you have the resources and you are enough to be able to sift through the information and to make decisions. What we really want is that nobody just like gives up and says, "Oh, I can't deal with it. I'm not doing anything else." Don't let that happen. We want to encourage you to hang in there, and to find some resources that you trust, that you can look to when you do get those confusing mailers or texts or whatever, to be able to go back and take a look at the resources that you know you can trust and get some information and just make your best decision, based on your own experience and your own research. So let's go to the next slide. This is what we plan to talk about today. We're going to talk about the dates, give you some tips about eliminating stress. We're going to talk about the propositions. We are taking a position, Lutheran Social Services is, on one particular proposition. We're going to remind you about registration and about links and about resources and voting integrity. We're going to have a guest from the Maricopa County's Recorder's Office. He's supposed to be here about 11:20. If he comes on, we may need to pause and let him talk and then go on. We'll see what his time frames are. But that's our plan. So right now, I didn't introduce myself getting started. I apologize. I'm Connie Phillips, and I'm the President and CEO here at Lutheran Social Services. You all get my communications. You know that I am passionate about our own voices to, in this election process, that our democracy is one of the things that makes the United States what it is. And so we need to do what we can to participate in our democratic system. But I am joined today by Francisca Gill, who is going to be taking you through the next few slides, and I will let her introduce herself. She has she's also very passionate about our democratic system and about voting. So Francisca, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Francisca Gill. I'm the Community Integration Program Manager at LSS, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity to share with you about your superpower. Voting is our superpower. So don't let the noise to stress you, and look forward in participating in this election process.
And Francisco, you just
Yes.
need to let Maddie know when to advance the
Yes,
slides.
Maddie, let's go to the next agenda. Please, to the agenda. I want to share a little bit about you, the important dates that are coming. July 30th is the primary election. To some of you that they are on this call may think, what is a primary election? I want to clarify a little bit for you. If you have more questions after, you can reach out to me or Jay, and we will be happy to share what we know. The primary elections are critical part of the electoral process for many democratic countries, especially the United States, because it serves as a preliminary election to determine which candidate will represent a particular political party in the general elections. Some of you have perhaps have received, if you belong to a political party, your ballot already. So the elections will take place on the 30th. You have before until July 23rd, my birthday, to return your ballot. If you are I always get happy about that, because that's the time that you return your ballot if you are in the early voting list or in the active voting list, I will say. So the next important date for this election process is October 7. It's the last day to register before general election, which is exactly 29 days before November 5th election, because you have to be within the state of Arizona 29 days to register to vote, to be present, and in order to participate on the general elections. So November 5th, everybody understands that?
Before you move on, Francisca, again, just to highlight what Francisca said about mailing your ballot by July 23rd. If you say you forget or you don't have time to get to it, it's okay. That just means you should take it to a voting center rather than mail it at that point. You can still turn it in. In fact, you can take it on July 30th. You don't have to have mailed it. So just make sure you know that ballot just needs to get to them before July 30th. You can mail it if you do it before the 23rd.
Yeah, and I would also share a little bit more, because I recently moved and I was able to register July 1st. It's okay. I may not receive my ballot yet. I can also have it printed on that moment. You can also request your ballot, no stress, and just drop it on the days of the elections, July 30th. We can go to the next slide. Thank you, Mari. Tips to help eliminate stress. Make a plan. It takes time to research candidates and ballot propositions. So just take your time, schedule time out of your calendar to sit down and fill out your ballot with time to search. That time will really help you and serve you. We're expecting a longer ballot this year, not for the primary, but for the general elections. So just take time and in order to calm you down and enjoy the process, because this is your voice and this is your superpower. And go to the next one. We're going to share with you all tips to help eliminate stress. I think when you know what is coming, when you know what to expect, you are more relaxed. Like I said in the previous slide, the ballot will be long this year with several propositions. There will be around 14 propositions. Connie will share with you more about that. They can be a bit confused, but it's okay. We're here to help you to find resources. We don't know every answer, but we can find the answer with you. We'll walk this process together. You know, I just want you to let you know that we do not need to know everything, but we can hold each other and help each other to feel at ease in this and participate. And the most important part is to participate in this democratic process. The next. We have resources for you. There is we are sharing with you the following sites that can be used as you make your plan to vote. They're very easy. If we can share, here they are. You can find the Secretary of State website, Vote 411, the League of Women Voters, which is great. These are great resources for you. And Arizona PBS channel is also great links. You have these links. If you need any help navigating these links, let us know. Let me know. I will be glad to walk you through, to answer questions for you. So here you are, your resources. So just make your plan, have your links handy, and then when you get your ballot, use them to help you to make a conscientious decision to preserve our democratic values. Thank you.
Yeah, and if I can just say, Francisca, one
Yes.
of the reasons why I wanted to put the PBS channel
yeah.
on as a link is because they have done a series of debates, and so they have recorded those. And if you would like, you don't know anything about the candidates, and you would like to see them and hear them talk, then you could go back and look at some of the debates that have happened over the last few weeks and be able to see, well, what are the two people that are running for that office? What are kind of like, help me see what they look like, what they are saying. You could watch those debates. All of these websites will have just information. None of them are going to tell you how to vote. And Francisca and Jay and I are not going to tell you which one to vote for either. That is a decision you make. But these are places where you can go read about the candidates. You can see what they stand for. You can have a chance to actually watch them speak about what they're saying. You can go to their websites from these links. So these are resources and help you kind of find what you would like to do.
Yes, well said, Connie. Yeah, this is the resources that will help you to clarify, questions, or if you don't know a candidate, you can add their name on the Secretary of State website. It will help you to know them even more. In your district, you will see around several, you've probably seen it around your neighborhood already, names popping up. So just take the time and put their names in the website and get to know them more before you make your decision for who to vote. Yeah, we can tell you who to vote for, but we can share with you where you can find the information to get educated, and that way you will have a conscientious vote for your community. Here are tips to help eliminate stress. It is okay to ask questions. It is okay to feel not at ease when it's a new process for you, or when you have done it and you don't feel like you have enough resources, or you don't know your candidates, or you don't know the propositions, or you don't even know what a proposition is. So it is okay. We just want to make sure that you feel like we are in a non-judgmental zone, okay? We are here to help you, to assist you to the best of our knowledge, and to provide resources in a safe place. So get in touch with Jay or with me. We're here to support you, to help you as much as we can. And it is okay not to know everything. It is okay. So just feel at ease and be peaceful in the process. We want to do this for you to have less stress and to stop somehow the noise that is going to be around you. So let's just bring the noise down. You are not required to vote the entire ballot, okay? But a lot of people stay in the top part of the ballot, but we're here to help you to figure out the bottom part of the ballot, because it is important. That bottom part of the ballot, it has a lot to do with our communities, with our state, with decisions that will change our lives. So take the time, Don't be afraid of the bottom part of the ballot. Do not be concerned about how long the ballot is. Just come and stop by. Jay and I will be glad to help you, and we will guide you to the best of our abilities. Okay, so let's just eliminate the stress. Let's just make sure that the noise doesn't drive us crazy, because we have clients, we have a lot going on, and but we do want to participate, and we want to do it effectively and together. We can go to the next slide. Thank you, Maddie. And
Okay,
here
so
I'm gonna let Connie take on this. Ballot propositions.
so ballot propositions. There are two ways that propositions will get on our ballot. As Francisca said, there are a lot that will be on the ballot this year, and there's two ways that they get there. They can be referred by the legislature, or they can come from the citizens. And if they come by the legislature, then they are passed like any other law is passed. They go through the process of being heard in the House and heard in the Senate and agreed upon, and then they go straight to the ballot rather than go to the governor's office. Generally, laws go to the governor's office then signs them or vetoes them. This is a way that the legislature can get something directly to the people to make a decision around. The other way that ballots get to the that propositions get to the ballot is through citizen initiatives. And this is when residents can come together and they can gather signatures from a certain percentage of voters in the state of Arizona. And then if they get enough signatures, they can place that law or constitutional amendment onto the ballot for a vote then by citizens later on. So the one of two ways. Now, Arizona is actually unique in that citizens can put something directly onto the ballot. So if you go to the next slide, please. There's as we've said, many of them. There are 11 propositions that have been referred by the legislature, and there are 3 additional citizen referred measures that are waiting right now for verification of their signatures. If they make it through that process and they verify enough signatures, they will be on the ballot. And the thing about the ballots is I really encourage you not to be fooled by the titles, because the titles can be deceiving. They can be simplified in a way that doesn't give you the whole picture. So do plan time ahead, again, to be stress-free. Give yourself enough time to read through the summaries that'll be in the the pamphlet that will come out. There'll be a voter pamphlet that's going to come out. And there's also information available online about the ballots. We will have a list of them that we will post and that they'll be available to you so you can at least look them all up once they're all confirmed. As I said, those 3 from the citizens are not confirmed yet. There is one, and you go to the next slide, Proposition 312, that it's already been referred by the legislature. It will be on the ballot. It will establish, the gist of it is it establishes the right for someone, a property owner, to ask for a tax refund if they believe that there's a public nuisance that the government has failed to address. So the city or the county didn't address this public nuisance. And if I believe as a property owner, it's impacting my property value, I could go back and say, well, then I want my taxes back. So essentially, it allows a property owner to apply to not pay their taxes if they feel like there's a person who's experienced homelessness has reduced their property value. It's really focused on that. Next slide, please. LSS believes that this is a bad policy, and we are opposed, and we're taking the position that we are opposing this proposition. Now, we as a nonprofit organization can take positions on the propositions, but we can't take positions on candidates. So for the propositions, our board of directors reviewed this and said, nope, we think this is a bad policy. We are going to say no on this one and encourage people to vote no. We think that this would not benefit the community, that it would create a loss of tax revenue that would then reduce already limited resources that cities and counties need. And it's also going to be really difficult and costly to enforce it. It's going to take a lot of probably legal and policy applications to figure out how to even do it. And then just from a moral perspective, it really minimizes the dignity and respect of people who are unhoused. And just calling people public nuisances is, we believe, not in line with our value of dignity and respect. So we are taking and encouraging you all to vote no on Proposition 312. Okay, I'm going to pause here and welcome Josh to us. So if Josh Haywood, if you can go to the last slide, please. Thank you. One more. There you go. Josh Haywood is joining us from the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. He is the executive assistant to the recorder and a special projects manager. He has held this position for over a year now. He graduated from Arizona State with a bachelor's degree in political science and is a certified elections official in Arizona. And in his role, he oversees a variety of special projects, including voter outreach initiatives and process improvement efforts. And he participates in public events and engagement alongside the recorder. So we are grateful for Josh taking some time to join us this afternoon. And Josh, we're going to stop sharing and let you, do you have some slides you'll want to share?
I do.
Okay, so Maddie, if you want to stop sharing. And we will hope that you are able to share.
Let's see if this works.
Looks
It's always
good.
hit or miss with technology. Okay, I think that's working, right?
It is great.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for the introduction and thank you so much for having me. Like Connie said, yes, I'm at the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. I'm the Recorder's Executive Assistant and I'm the Special Projects Manager here at the Recorder's Office. Work on various special projects throughout the office. One thing I'm working on right now is a virtual tour of our tabulation center. I don't know if any of you have taken the tour, but we offer tours of the Maricopa County Tabulation and Election Center. And so right now we're working on a virtual tour. So sort of like a Zillow home, you can kind of just click through and it's like a self-guided tour and you can walk through it, click on things and see and learn more about the process. So that's one thing that I'm working on. But today I'm going to be presenting and talking about the July primary, the November general election, and just some general things of what we do at the Recorder's Office. So without further ado, so at the Recorder's Office, there's three primary statutory functions that the Recorder's Office does. They handle the recording of public documents. A lot of those are related to real estate, deeds, liens, and stuff like that. And so we actually process thousands of documents per day, around 1 million a year of publicly recorded documents. You can go on our website and actually search all the public documents that we've recorded. Another thing we handle is voter registration. Hot topic right now, along with elections, which I'll talk about. But yeah, we handle and maintain Maricopa County's voter rolls. As of today, we have around 2.4 million active registered voters, making us the second largest voting jurisdiction in Maricopa County. And then the third thing we handle is elections. And this is sort of like a kind of complicated thing because there's a sort of bifurcated system in the county and in Arizona, where we have shared responsibilities with the Board of Supervisors. But what the Recorder's Office handles is the early voting components of that. So all the mail-in ballots, which makes up usually around 80% of all votes cast in an election. All right, now I'll talk about early voting. So like I said, around 80% of people per election decide to vote early. Out of the 2.4 million active registered voters that we have in Maricopa County, 1.9 million of those are signed up for what's called the active early voting list. And what the active early voting list is an opt-in thing that you can sign on your voter registration form at the NVD, wherever you fill out your voter registration form. And it will send you a ballot by mail for every election that you are eligible for. This is different than previously. It used to be called the permanent early voting list. But now it's called the active early voting list due to legislation that was passed and still going through some litigation. But basically, the change was if you don't participate by mail for 2 consecutive presidential cycles, then you'll be removed off the active early voting list. But there's current litigation around that. That hasn't happened yet. So stay tuned. All right, and then I'll take you through the life of an early ballot very briefly. I know I don't have too much time. And like I said, we offer tours of our facility. So if you're interested in any of this, feel free to come take a tour. It's a 1.5 to 2 hour tour, and we take you and we walk you through the entire facility and take you through this process more in depth. But just high level, life of the early ballot. Ballots go out 27 days before an election. The voter registration deadline is actually 29 days before an election. So I'll talk about that a little later. But for this July primary election that's on July 30th, the voter registration deadline was July 1st. And then ballots went out July 3rd. So if you're on the active early voting list or you submitted a one-time ballot request, you should have already received your primary ballot. If you haven't, please contact us. But so you receive that ballot, you make your selections, you make your marks, then you take that green envelope that was given to you in that yellow carrier envelope that we send out. You place your ballot in the green envelope, seal it, sign it, date it, put your phone number. Please put your phone number. We always ask people to put their phone numbers because let's say when it goes to signature verification that maybe we don't find that your signature is consistent with one that we have on file when we do signature verification. We use that phone number to actually call you. Now, if you don't put your phone number, don't worry. We can still go through our voter registration database and find your phone number that way, but that helps us speed up the process. But yes, like it says, you can mail it off, drop it off at a drop box. You can drop it off at a USPS box. You can drop it off at a vote center, or you can drop it off even on election day. And we'll talk about that. And so what happens after you drop off your ballot, that green ballot affidavit envelope, however you drop it off, we send it off to Runbeck, our third-party election vendor. And so they scan, they take a digital image, and I see the recorder's trying to join this meeting. That's funny. They take a digital image of that envelope, scan it, and then they give us that file. And then what we do with that file is we compare that signature that you just signed on your ballot affidavit envelope with the 3 most recent signatures that we have on file for you. And then this takes us through the process of signature verification, stuff like that. I won't touch on it too much because I know we don't have a lot of time. So once it goes from signature verification and we say, yes, that signature looks consistent, then it moves on to ballot processing. And ballot processing, they remove that ballot, take the ballot affidavit envelope, set it to the side, and from there, the secrecy of the ballot is born, and we have no idea how you voted or anything like that. So after that process is done, it gets sent to tabulation and then ultimately tabulated. All right. And I know that was quick and dirty. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at the end or email me. I'll send my email in the chat after this. And then additionally, I mentioned the process for the early ballot. We also have voter assistance programs. And so these are for individuals that might have visual impairments or auditory impairments that make it hard for them to vote a normal ballot. So what we have is large print ballots. And that's it's a huge sheet of paper and a ballot that you can fill out. It's very large. We have special election boards. And so what that is the bipartisan team sort of think of it, and we don't like to call it this just because it's not for everyone. It's for people that actually need it. But it's like an Uber for voting. So you call us and say, hey, I'm bedridden. I had an injury. I can't get out of bed, but I still want to cast my ballot. And we'll say, oh, no problem. We'll send a bipartisan team, a Republican and a Democrat, and they'll go over to your house, your residence, your place of living, and they'll help you actually fill out the ballot. And the reason it's the bipartisan team is because they're actually helping you fill out the ballot. So we want to make sure that it's done in a bipartisan manner and all those marks are accounted for. And then another thing we offer are the Braille ballots as well. And usually for a general election, there's a couple hundred of those that we send out. All right, now for the 2024 elections, I know what everyone was interested for. All right, so voter registrations, I just pulled these today. These are as of July 12th, 2024, so today. And you can actually view these online on our website in real time if you're ever curious to see the voter registration breakdown in Maricopa County. As you can see, though, we're roughly split a third a third, and a third Republican, a third Democrat, and a third PND or independent. And so this is one of the reasons why Maricopa County has been in the news so often recently, is because we're a politically dynamic county and a politically dynamic state. And like I said earlier, we're the second largest voting jurisdiction in the United States. So all eyes are sort of on Maricopa County for this election, because if you look at the biggest county, which is LA County, usually people know how LA County is going to vote. So we're really a swing county and a swing state. So all eyes are on us for this election. And then the next slide is voter registration deadline. So as I mentioned, the voter registration for the July 30th primary actually passed. It was on July 1st. And then that's 29 days before every election. So for the November 5th general election that we have coming up in November, the voter registration deadline is October 7th. And then important for this election, though, that I do want to mention, so if you are an independent or a party not designated voter, you can actually participate in the primary election. This is different than what happened in March. I don't know if you were aware of the presidential preference election that took place. And that is where Republicans and Democrats were only allowed to participate. And what it was an election to select the preference for what they wanted, who they wanted their presidential candidate to be. But the primary, different. Independents can participate. They just have to let us know what ballot they would like. They can choose a Republican ballot, a Democrat ballot, or even a nonpartisan, which just contains local issues and no partisan races on that one. But you can make your request at request.maricopa.vote. The deadline to make that request is July 19th if you want to receive an early ballot. But you can also go in person all the way up until Election Day and let the poll workers know what selection and what ballot you would like to receive. Okay, and talking about the July 30th primary and vote centers, we will have 220 vote centers open on Election Day, July 30th. You can go on our website, locations.maricopa.vote, to view the location nearest you and open locations today. We in Maricopa County use a phased opening, so we don't have all 220 open on the same day. So early voting, like I said, starts 27 days before an election, but we don't open all 220 27 days before an election. Reason for that being is because usually we see not a lot of voters at the vote centers going in up until about a week before Election Day, when it really starts to ramp up. And so with that, we usually ramp up the number of vote centers that we open. But on Election Day, there'll be 220. You can go to locations.maricopa.vote. It'll pull up the wait time, how far it is from you. So it's very helpful. And then speaking of helpful, beBallotReady.vote. It's sort of like the holy grail. If you get anything from this presentation, please remember beBallotReady.vote. This is your personalized voter dashboard. So here you can you can check your voter status, you can track your ballot, you can view your voting history, you can update your details like your address, your political party. You can see how you voted or the manner in which you voted for past elections. You can see important election dates, and it also links to locations.maricopa.vote. And speaking of tracking your ballot, if you're not signed up for ballot tracking alerts, I encourage you to do so. They're very helpful for peace of mind. So what that is, you text JOIN to 628-683, and you'll actually get text alerts when your ballot is being prepared, when we mail you your ballot, when we've received your ballot, and when we've signature verified your ballot and counted your ballot. So very helpful, very cool. Definitely encourage you to sign up for that. Like I said, you text JOIN to 628-683 for that. And then another service we offer, not election related, but a really cool service that we also offer at the recorder's office, is what's called Maricopa Title Alert. And so what this does, it's a free opt-in service that notifies subscribers when a document is recorded in their name, their business's name, or even the name of their trust. And so it functions like a Google alert. I don't know if you have a Google alert set up for you. But anytime a document is recorded in your name, and that we've recorded, like I said, the thousands of documents we record daily, it will give you an alert, whether we just set up text alerts, so now you can get it by text or by email. And this is sort of to help protect against deed fraud. So illegally recorded deeds and stuff in your name. So you can sign up, gives you sort of peace of mind. Now, if you have a common name, you might receive a lot of alerts. But if you have a relatively uncommon name, then you shouldn't receive any alerts. And what it does is it'll email you. You can click on the document and say, yep, oh, that was me. Yes, they filed a mechanics lien or something like that against my property and stuff like that. All right. And with that, here are some ways you can get involved. And I will now take some questions.
Does anybody have any questions for Josh?
I know that was very high level and a quick and dirty overview, but
Yeah, unfortunately, we told him he didn't have much time.
well, even the tours, like I said, an hour and a half to 2 hours, but if I wanted to show you through the whole process, you might have to work here. So
Yeah. And we, Jay and I had the opportunity to go and take the tour at the voting or at the office. Oh my gosh, it was so enlightening. So I really encourage you, if you have time, to sign up. And can you sign up for those on your website, Josh?
yeah, there's now a tab to sign up on our website, or you can just I'll put my email in the chat. You can just email me, and I'll get you signed up for a tour. Right now, we're actually in lockdown because of the July 30th primary election, so live ballots are in the building. But we're going to open up tours back in September, or back up in September.
Great.
But like I said,
And
we have a virtual tour coming soon, so stay tuned on our
that'll be
website.
great.
Yeah.
And if it is something you can, if you're not ready to just sign up now, but you think you'd be interested, then I will invite you to let Jay know about that. And if we get a big enough group, we could do a group tour. It was really fascinating. Well, Josh, thank you so much for popping on and taking us through this. We really appreciate it. And thank you for your work in this very important aspect of our democracy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, I hope he stopped sharing.
I should be able, yep, I'll be
Okay.
happy to start sharing my screen again,
All right.
Connie.
Maddie, if you can go back then.
Absolutely.
Just got a few more slides. And I apologize, we were not able to get somebody from the Pima County Recorder's Office. I will tell you that it is similar. I know Tucson also has voter centers. So it is similar in the Tucson area in Pima County. I'm not sure about Sierra Vista or Nogales as far as how it works, but I do know you have a county recorder's office because we went and picked up some forms from there. So.
And Connie,
All
I
right.
just wanted to volunteer because I'm in Pima County. If anyone has any questions about our county recorder's office website or any of their, tracking or anything like that, I'm happy to be a resource for people. If you want to send me a message, I'm happy to connect.
Thanks so
Thank you
much.
so much, Maddie.
All right, so just finishing up, just a couple more slides. Obviously, registering to vote, some I know of our team members are not able to register yet, but once they become United States citizens, we encourage all of you to be registered to vote. You just have to be a resident of Arizona, having been here for 29 days. You have to be 18 and not have been found mentally incapacitated by the court or convicted of a felony. If you have to have your rights restored, which I don't believe that would be applicable to any of the folks that are working at LSS. Next slide. If you are,
Connie, I would
Go
like
ahead.
to say something. If you're going to be 18 by the election day, by all means, register to vote.
yes. Sorry, I thank you.
It's
for
okay.
pointing that
I
out.
just did that for high schoolers, so sometimes that's it. That's
Yeah, so any of
important.
you have high school students at
Yes.
home, if they're going to be 18 by the November election,
Yes.
then make sure to get them registered to vote so that they will be all set. And then this is a link, a QR code. You can click on it now. You can use that to register. You can also get to Service Arizona. You can also like update your address. you can make sure they have the right address. So encourage you to take a look at this website just to make sure everything is in order. And the next one are this link tree that we created. This has a lot of information. If you've been with LSS for a couple of years, you know we did this a couple of years ago, and this is a lot of information. It helps you. There's just a ton of links to it. So I encourage you to go to this link tree, to check it out. We will make sure that all this information is available to people. So we've done a lot of work. Our interns over the last couple of years have worked really hard on this. And then Jay has worked really hard to keep this all up. So there is information on our link tree for all of the counties in which we know that we have our team members. So we hope that we've covered it all. And next slide is really just about questions. What questions do any of you have based on what? And then what else? Is there other things you'd like to see us do presentations on? Well, again, thank you for taking the time to sit in with us today. Watch your emails and watch for more opportunities. Please know that, like I said, we're here to support you. Reach out to Jay, to Francisca, to myself. And we are, like I say, we're very happy to be able to do whatever we can to support you in participating in our democracy. Ruth.
Awesome.
Connie, where can I find that Q code, the QR
bar
code? The QR
you know
bar.
what, Maddie, I don't know. Are you able to post that in Teams?
I might be able to. I will see if I can attach a little PDF into our chat once the meeting is over that has those couple of slides with the QR codes and also with the links. I'll see about posting those in the chat as a document so everyone can access them.
And then
Thank you.
go ahead.
Is it okay to share? Can I share that with people? Because I know people there. I think that QR code would be an amazing tool for them to use.
Yes, everything we have created is definitely meant to be shared.
Okay.
And then Jay will be back Monday, and so she will send out probably a link to the recording and the slides so that those will be available to you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Yes,
happy voting. I can tell you that I mailed mine in, and I've already gotten my text saying that it has been received. So, and if you are independent, just a little insider tip, I will tell you that the Democratic ballot does not have a lot of choices on it. The Republican ballot's going to have a lot more names on it. As you've been seeing the signs around, there's a lot more jostling and a lot more candidates on the Republican side right now. The Democrats really are only running a smaller number of candidates. So just FYI, if you're an independent.
I would like to say a few words. I just want to share with you guys, democracy is not an spectator sport. It requires active participation from its citizens to thrive. So please, 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 please do not take democracy for granted. Let's just all together support each other, plan together, and vote together as an organization. Enjoy. Thank you, guys.
Yep. All right. Go forth and use your superpower. Thanks for being here today.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Great job. Great job.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
Have a good day.
Have a